Good morning, brothers, sisters, and friends. According to our schedule, this morning we'll have a short time to share our practice in English. So before we start, I would like to invite everyone to take a few minutes to follow our breath in order to calm our body and mind. So now if you sit on the cushion, you can cross your legs, any posture that you feel comfortable. Keep your back straight, relax your shoulders. And for those who sit on chairs, please sit straight, your feet firmly placed on the ground, on the floor. Relax your shoulders. So the main thing is try to keep your back straight, neutral. Relax your shoulders. If you sit on a chair, then you can place your feet firmly on the floor. If you sit on a cushion, you can find a comfortable posture. You can close your eyes to help you to focus easier. Now, you pay attention to your nose, where you can realize you are breathing in and you are breathing out. You don't have to force yourself to breathe. Allow your breath in and out normally. All you need to do now is pay attention. Be aware every single breath you make. When you're breathing in, you know this is my in-breath. When you're breathing out, you know this is my out-breath. You also can create some positive words to help you to water for your body and mind. For example, when you're breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel relaxed. So when you are thinking the word calming and relaxing, after a few breaths, your body start to calm. Your body start to relax, the same as your mind. This is the beautiful way to help you to balance your body and mind, to help you to overcome many strugglings in life. When you're able to go back to yourself, you're able to breathe in and out peacefully. That means you try to calm your body and mind. And do not allow yourself to explode. But you know how to take good care for your body and mind. You don't want to continue the pain in your heart, your mind, the suffer on your body. So this is the good medication. This is the right treatment for your body and mind. Breathing in, keep your light smile and know that I am still alive. Breathing out, I smile. Still alive. Breathing in, smiling, breathing out. While you sitting, If your mind has something jump in, instead of continue to thinking, you stop thinking, go back to your conscious breathing. The point is, try to bring your mind thinking one thing at a time. Usually our mind wander a lot, thinking too much. And finally, there is nothing completely perfect and success. Now we try to focus one thing at a time. In this moment, we are working with body and mind. Present moment, wonderful moment. Breathing in, I enjoy my present moment. Breathing out, this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, present moment. Breathing out, wonderful moment. Good morning, brothers, sisters, and friends. Today is Saturday, June 17th, the year of 2023. We are having 4 days retreat at the Huê Lâm Buddhist Temple, and this is our 3rd day. And according to the schedule, the nun would like to organize this morning as an English talk, so we can share the practice for those who speak English, because in this retreat, mostly we speak Vietnamese. And first of all, I would like to thank to all of you who take off your precious time and be here with this morning. I know that some of you have to drive maybe more than an hour to come here, and that's why you have to wake up early. and you're supposed to sleep in. But because of some invitation, maybe from your dad, your mom, your friend, or yourself, you wish to come. And that's why you wake up early morning and to join this morning session. So I would like to greeting to all of you and thank you for your presence. Thank you for your practice. And I hope that we will have some time together. And I try to share briefly. And later on, if you have any question, maybe you can ask directly. And we will try to learn and to share along with your question. So this is not a lecture. This is the time that we share together. And first of all, I would like to share about my understanding and my practice about Buddhism. So when we talk about Buddhism, doesn't mean we are talking about a religion, a faith. But we want to talk about the practice. Because in life, there are a lot of happiness. But if we do not have a mindful to recognize happiness, we may turn around with happiness. But beside happiness, there are so many and so much suffering too. But accidentally, we just focus, we just pay attention, we just take in a lot of suffering and we suffer ourselves. And we totally forget about happiness. So the Buddha, our teacher, the Buddha is not God. Buddha is not a saint. Buddha is just a teacher. And Buddha is a being like us. But in the Buddha, he cultivates his highest understanding, his highest loving kindness. So he understood, he found out, life is not only one side. We have suffering, but we also have happiness. But if we know happiness, we would recognize it and enjoy. But if we recognize there is suffering, we can find a way to transform suffering. So this is our working daily. For example, when you are sitting on cross your legs like this, and if you feel your legs numb, hurt, what do? You change your posture. You change your position so you can make yourself comfortable. This morning, after the morning session, and there is a young boy, just around 9 years old. He came to me and he said, his sister said, "Oh, Thầy, you know what, this morning he practiced sitting meditation and his leg is so pain and he did not remove." I said, "No, you don't have to. If you don't feel comfortable with the way you sit there, you can change a little bit. So I make sure you adjust your posture to make you feel comfortable." Life is the same. If there is something you realize is not correct, it's painful, you can looking for the way to help you out. When you have problems, you can find a way to solve problems. When you have difficulties, find somebody that you can talk and you can share. When you don't feel all right with your body, you need to see a doctor. And before you see a doctor, the nurse will come and do some blood pressure to see what is your condition in order to report to the doctor, you need it right now or you can wait a little bit. So everything there is a session to help us out. So I want to give this example, the same as the way of the practice in Buddhist practice. You do not come here just for a faith. We do not come here just to worship the Buddha and receive the blessing. The blessing of the Buddha is the Buddha gave us the way to help us out. For example, you say, where is the exit? I can point you. I can help you to use my finger to point. That is the exit. But you have to walk to that exit and go out by yourself. I cannot walk for you. So I only can show you the way out. But you have to make your way out. So when you can make your way out, you also can make your way in. Because life have the entrance. Life have the exit. So that means life, when we have something wrong, do not block yourself. Do not think this is the end of the world. This cannot fix, this cannot do, this cannot move. Don't do that. Because what is the main word that we can install in us? Be mindful. Be aware. So we use the term mindfulness a lot in our daily practice. What is mindfulness? Be aware of what are you doing. So sometimes you can say, I have the right to do something I want. Yes. But mindfulness will help you a little bit more. You have the right to do something you want, but is this benefit you and benefit your loved one? And this will bring you completely 100% successful. Just when you're boiling the water, if it's halfway, then you turn off. You still have water, but it's not hot water. You just have warm water. And sometimes if the water is not boiling enough, you cannot make tea. So you still can use the warm water, but just to drink, but not to make something you want, like tea or coffee. So if we want the way we want, only please ourselves. But sometimes we are not mindful enough, it completely not please ourselves, it just harm ourselves, destroy ourselves. Not yet, we not yet think that we can benefit others, but the way we live is not mindful enough, we may damage our life. That's why we come to the teachings. We come to the teachings because the teachings here is not a lecture. The teachings here is the way, the truth, the responsibilities. Each of us, we have the responsibilities. First of all, for ourselves. We have this body. We should take good care for this body. Do not damage this body by drugs, by alcohols, by intoxicants, anything that you bring into your body that may damage you. And that you do not love yourself. So once you did not love yourself yet, you cannot love anyone around you. So if somebody come to you and they say they love you, you have to look back the way they live. How they live. They drunk every day. They use drugs every day. They suffer every day, then how can they bring love to you? Even themselves, they did not have the right treatment for them, then how can they bring the right treatment for you? So we have the eyes to see, we have the heart to feel, we have the hands to help. And this is the right intention, the right livelihood, the right effort. We try to do something every day, and that is the effort. I try to cook, I try to clean my house. First of all, we did not happy to do it. So we try a little bit, just like this morning. Some of you willing to come, some of you not willing to come. You are coming just because your mom, your dad, or somebody asked you to, begged you to. Maybe they request and they beg you. And they think, once a while we have a session like this. So they wish you to come so you can receive something for yourself, for your life.
So the word we use is be mindful. Be mindful on what you do. So make sure your work, your something you do, not only please yourself, but it's also please the others. But make sure you also reflect on something you call please yourself. Is that the right please? Or is the wrong one? Right livelihood or wrong livelihood? Just like we talk. Is that the right way to talk or is the wrong way to talk? Sometimes we talk, we just suffer our others by the words we use, by the way we talk. So again, I want to highlight the word practice. Practice means we try to do something to make things become more positive. And this is what we do every day. When you have a job, you are very new. You have to go to the training. Now you become the trainer, new training. So after a few weeks of training, you get used to it. Now you get ready to work. And make sure you work well so you can get paid for your living. If you don't work well, you'll be fired. Because we want to do things correct. Just like every morning when you wake up, you will do something for yourself first. Brush your teeth, wash your face, comb your hair, makeup, dressing. What is it? Make sure I look beautiful and clean first, so I can feel comfortable to come out. If you don't feel comfortable about your makeup, you need a mirror to see, make sure I look nice. So what is that mirror mean? Your reflection. Before you talk, do you have a mirror of reflection on your words? Before you do something, do you have a mirror to reflect on your action? So what is Buddhism here? The way to live. It's all right to do every daily things and let that things daily become a lesson for us to learn and to practice. We want to look beauty, so do others. We want people to treat us nice, why not others? So if you're able to recognize all of that in daily life, you are Buddhism. Even you have not yet taken any ceremony, maybe you have not yet attended any session in Buddhism, in the temple. But Buddhism is not, framing in that kind of area, in the temple, or with your crossed legs, or, wearing your robe, doing some chanting. Buddhism is the way of life, and anywhere there is human, there is a practice. Anywhere there is, communication, there is a practice. Because if we don't practice, our communication easily broke. Anywhere there is people in a relationship, there is need Buddhism. Because if we don't have the intention, mindfulness, practice, our relationship easily ends. Because we don't have enough attention, mindfulness. So, I want to introduce the word mindfulness in order for all of us to see that whatever we do in daily life, we need attention, we need mindfulness, so we will let suffer our loved one. And once you're at peace, you're able to bring peace to someone. So when we say, I would like to pray for the world peace, it's nothing wrong to do that. But if the world, how the world can be peace, if each of us we're unable to have peace. So we don't have no peace to offer. So make sure we have the inner peace. And once you have the inner peace, you can transform a lot of negatives in you. So another word we use is transformation. Do not feel bad if we have negatives. If we have negative habits, it's all right because we're human. Just like when you have the body, one day you get sick. Headache, flu, fever, whatever. But don't worry. We all have medication for each individual disease, sickness. Same thing, we have the way to help to transform all of that, negatives within us. So once we have the body, there is sickness, there is old age. When we have a communication, there is this argument, there is disagreement. That's very normal in life. But doesn't mean that's it about humans. There are something else. Can embrace argument, can embrace disagreement to make it better. When you go to the supermarket to buy some grocery, let's say vegetables, and before you cook, you must bring that vegetable out and you cut. But before you cut and cook, you have to see if some of the leaves, some of the petals, they get bad. What do? You take them out. You only select the good one to eat. If you hold the whole thing like this, you say, oh, this went bad. You throw in the garbage. And I'm guarantee, after you open your fridge, you throw everything away because every single vegetable, they have some yellow leaves and something wrong with that. Don't see the whole thing and name it, this is bad. A mindfulness person can take out and select. Something is not good, we can throw away and make compost. When we say throw away, doesn't mean it's garbage. Huh? You can use as a compost and take something good to cook and to eat. A mindful person, don't see anything totally garbage. A good farmer do not see anything become waste or garbage. They will select and make that become compost or recycle. Your life can be a bag of garbage. Sometimes you feel, oh, my life is just a bag of garbage. It's okay. Sometimes one day you open do you have some problem like this? Sometimes people bring their garbage and put in your house because your garbage bin is bigger than them. And they feel that your garbage is not used yet. In our temple, we have that problem almost every week because we have a 3-yard garbage bin. Sometimes our neighbor, they bring the garbage and put in our bin. And sometimes people just leave a bag of garbage in front of our temple. They don't want to throw away. You know what? I have to open that bag. Usually we call garbage, actually they are used stuff, used clothes, used toilet paper, their shoes and everything. I will open that bag and see what we still can use and what we can donation. So if we just keep it like that, that will become garbage. Because we did not open, we just name it garbage. But if you open that bag, you select them out, which one still can use, which one can go to recycle, which one can use to compost. After that, everything's solved. That whole bag have a place to come to. We can bring them to their own thing, like a recycle, like compost. So there is nothing waste, unless you don't use them right. So sometimes people say, oh, I waste my time. Why you waste your time? Because you don't know how to use your time right. You have time to do homework, but when you turn on your computer and automatically you think about your electronic games, you go to YouTube, you watch something, you play something, after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, an hour, and then your night's gone. You still did not finish anything. Now it's become time waste. And that happens regularly, very regularly. Not only about young people, even us, adults, we still have same thing. Sometimes we just hanging around and just waste our day. So if you know how to use things right, they are not waste. If you do not know how to use things right, they become waste. We have life, we have time, we have knowledge, we have understanding. There are a lot of things. Sometimes we are here each other. We see each other daily. But we just waste the time we be together. One day the Buddha asked the monks, how long is a human's lifespan? Some monks answer, 70 years. So they think, the human's lifespan is 170 years. The Buddha said, oh, you have not yet understood the way, the path. The other monks answer, oh, maybe few months. The Buddha said, you still not yet understood the way. The way means the practice, the path. The other monk answer, oh, only in one single breath. The Buddha said, you see the way. That's true. We think, how long is our lifespan? What guarantee? No guarantee at all. Sometimes I'm teasing. I said, sometimes our human's life cannot compare to a machine we buy. Every single machine we buy, they have a guarantee. But our life, we have no paper that guarantee how long we can live. We bought a TV, they say 2 years, lifetime. That TV can use in 2 years. But us, we totally don't know. So do not misunderstand that. We have a long way to live. Don't know. Actually, we don't know. So because we do not know, that's why we learn to appreciate every single day we have, every single minute we have. Especially, the love from the parents. Tomorrow we celebrate Father's Day. Is that true? May 10th we celebrate Mother's Day. June 18th we celebrate Father's Day. Actually, not only that day, not only tomorrow, and we will come to hug our dad and say, Daddy, I thank you so much for being my father. But once a year, there is a reminding. Do not forget that you have a father. What happened? Don't know yet. We will talk later. But first of all, you need to recognize you have a father. You have a mother. But I believe that many of us, we have received a lot of love from father and mother. Just because sometimes Asian parents, they overlove. They do love, but overlove. And sometimes you a little bit complain. But let's do this. When you receive an overlove from your parents, and with no love, which one you choose? I'd rather have even a little bit uncomfortable, but still more better than no love. So sometimes you receive over care better than no care. Sometimes we need to meditate on that, reflecting on that. And what happened? Your parents will never be there for you all your life. Maybe when you turn 30, they are no longer with you. So maybe you only receive their love up to 30 years. Maybe you can receive their love up to 50 years, but of course they depart before you. Then, thinking about that, learn to appreciate whatever they can do for you. They don't have to, but they want to. Why? Because they are your parents. No doubts. So they don't have to say, I have to love my son, I have to love my daughter. Love, just love, is very miracle and very natural. Father, mother, love the children. They don't have to do something, I try to love them. You don't have to try. Maybe you will try to love your friend. But the parents love you naturally. They don't have to try because they give birth to you. You are their blood. So they love you. That is very normal. So when you receive their love, I know sometimes you're not happy. Because you feel that you have no freedom. They try to protect you too much, or they watch you too much, they overcare you too much. You feel that way. But you can reflect, that's better than nothing. Just because you don't feel comfortable with the way they do, but they still can do something for you, is better than they don't do anything. Sometimes we need to do that, to think about that in order to appreciate. And the beautiful in this life is you learn how to appreciate others. Instead of ignore, we learn to appreciate. Instead of don't care, we learn to care. So I try to guide you how to direct your mind to a positive way, more than just focus to the negative and complain. Usually when I attend a retreat like this, I lead the retreat like this, and we have many other monks and nuns to share the talks. You know what happened? I am here in 4 days and I have to talk 4 times a day. And I feel that I like a piece of lemons. They try to squeeze me every last drop. Friday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, I just talk. Sometimes I feel that all the retreatants here, they're so boring to see me 3 times a day. But if I feel that way, and then I sunk myself, I depress myself, and I'm not happy at all. I'm thinking about that just for fun. But I know that, if I'm still a lemon, of course they have to squeeze me. If I still have a last drop, it's still better than no drop. So bring yourself. If anything negatives come, you learn to do something to make it better. Yesterday, I have a question from a Vietnamese lady. She worried that she do something wrong to the Buddha. And this is her question. I have my Buddha's altar upstairs, but every night I stay downstairs to do the prayer. Is that wrong? And what happened? I said, oh, if you cannot go upstairs with the Buddha will happy to go downstairs with you. That's very simple of life. If somebody cannot come to you, do not block, come to them. If they don't talk to you, talk to them. If they don't love you, love them. I guarantee you, this is the way to solve problems. I have done this for all my life. I work in the community since I'm 17 years old. I ordained as a monk when I was 15. 17 years old, I officially received a bunch of work by myself. No brothers, no friend. I have to work with myself, with the whole community, senior, semi, youth, kids. And you know, as a community, not everybody the same. But how can I manage everything? Because I learned one word for myself. If nobody do it, I will do it. If that work is left over, I will take over. Keep this in mind. This is my practice. I am not a saint. I am not a holy person. I am a practitioner. So when you want to make things better, you do them first. You don't just sit there and say, hey, son, clean the house. Hey, daughter, sweep the floor. Son, can you help me to clean that area? I will clean this area. So we both working. Instead of saying, you work. So if you are a nice daughter, when your mom is cooking, instead of hiding yourself in the room and play games until the meal time, you come down and help your mom to set up the table. Or you can ask, Mom, you need any help? Your mom will be more happy. Even she doesn't have anything, but she's happy, you pay attention to her. Sometimes life is very simple. You just pay attention. You just ask, you offer your asking, your request. You offer your help. Even there is nothing to help, but they're happy because they feel that you pay attention to them. You can see this with a plant you grow, that a tree. When you have a plant in home, you just leave the plant at the corner. You never stop and pay attention to that plant. It's too dry. You did not water. All the leaves get so yellow and dried and bad, you did not cut and move the plants to the sun. The plant will die. But if you pay attention to the plant, sometimes you put your hand to see how wet, how dry, in order to give them more water if they're too dry. Bring to the sun if they need more sunshine. Turn them around so they can grow round and beautifully. The plant needs us because we need the plant. They give us oxygen because we take good care for them. What is it? Practice. What is it? Buddhism. Buddhism is not in the book. Buddhism is not on the altar. Buddhism right in you, right in your eyes, how you look people, right on your hands, how you help, right in your heart, how you feel, right on your mouth, how you talk, right on your body, how you behave, your action. Now you can turn the teachings to become a living teaching. So we call living Buddha, living Christ. Christ is not in the church. Christ in each of you. Jesus in each of us. Buddha in each of us. So that's why tomorrow we celebrate also Buddha's birthday. Doesn't mean we wait once a year, we celebrate the birth of the Buddha. But we should celebrate the birth of us every day. So once you're born on that new day with happiness, that day the Buddha born. Because life needs a human who willing to have the intent to live and to help and to transform. So now, if one day you don't feel well, you're sick, and you just in the room, if your mom step in and say, how you feel? Do you need some spoon massage? Cạo gió? Do you need some cháo? You feel so warm. Your mom pay attention to you. And sometimes she will put her hand on your forehead to see how you feel. Oh, you have fever. You have cold. You want to go doctor. She did not do anything for you yet. But her words, her hands comfort you, healing you. But you will be more sick if you stay in the room for 1 week. Nobody come in and ask you anything. That moment, you are not only sick your body, but you also sick in your heart, in your mind, in your feelings. So, when you are practicing daily life, I just want to bring this and encourage and invite you. Make sure you bring up, light up your eyes, your smiling, your speech, your hands, your action. Make them all become real Buddhism. Make them become, you are the Buddha, right in this life. We bow the statue of the Buddha, it is a statue. But that statue helps you to direct your mind to recognize the Buddha within yourself. The Buddha is the one who is able to live mindfully. Dharma is the truth. Dharma is the way. Dharma is the transformation. So any way that helps you out, that is Dharma. That is the way. So when you drive to the ending, or you get lost your way, you will stop in a gas station and ask for help. Or you knock on somebody's door and ask the way out. So ask for the way out, because life has the way out. Just because accidentally you turn in the wrong way. But do not just stay there and complain, I turned to the wrong way. There is a way out. Do not think, when you come here, you bow or you're doing some religious stuff. All of that just expression, your gratitude, your thankful, your respect. But the main thing is how to turn yourself, light up yourself in the Buddhist practice. The way you see people now, more understanding, more loving, more kindness. In the past, I see them, but lot of doubt, lot of hate. Now I can see them with the eyes of love. When I use my hand to talk to them only this way, now I can use my whole hand, because this means support. Hi, how are you? Are you okay? But in the past, watch out. So this finger now turn to this finger, this hand. In the past, I have, when I speak to that person, I only give them hard words. Now, I can use my loving speech. How was your day? It's not a big deal. It's no cost. But make people feel warm. In my temple, all my young students, they say, oh, every time I see Thầy, I know what he will ask me. First word he say, have you eaten yet? I always ask my young students, whenever I see them, have you eaten yet? And he said, yes, I did. What did you eat? So make sure, because sometimes I prepare for them, right? I know what is the food. So if they say wrong, I know they did not eat yet. Are you full? Every single email I email to reply people, I don't care, I know them or not. Every single email, my first word is, how are you? When I reply an email to someone, I have 100 emails to reply, but actually no time to reply all. But every single email I reply, the first word I ask them, how are you? To make people, when you open your day with a nice words, not only you, only that person benefit, you benefit first, because you have raised the words from the heart of goodness. When you're doing something good for someone, you are the one who benefit first, because the goodness, the good thinking, the good action, the good words come from your mind, come from yourself. So learn to practice that, and you will make you become positive. And whenever you're around with people, people can feel the positive energy within you. Sometimes you can also feel the negative with someone around you, don't you? We can feel that too. Because if that person lives totally in the negative environment, the way they think is negative, the way they talk is negative, the way they act is negative, they become a whole person with negative. Whatever you think, become you. Whatever you talk regularly, that's become you. For example, when you talk don't talk about that person. He have a bad this, he do that. Because we train ourselves become that, and people name us that. So tomorrow we celebrate the birth of the Buddha. It's just only a reason. We celebrate the birth of the Buddha. It's to remind all of us. We should celebrate the birth of our newly day that we have. When we welcome a baby, just like we welcome a new day, I am welcoming my new day, and I will use my new day wholeheartedly. You love this day, you still have 24 hours. You don't like this day, you hate this day, you still have 24 hours. So why you have to hate this day that you still live with it in 24 hours? Make things become positive. Anything negative, you still can make it positive. I used to give an example to my little kids when I have class for them. When you doing your math, if you do wrong, you have the wrong answer. What happened? You go back and add again. So that's why when we do math, we do with pencil or with pen. Usually when we're in school. When we're doing math, we do with pencil. Why we do pencil? So we can erase and correct, right? So, but that's when you're small, right? When you're small, you do something wrong, people allow you to erase and correct. But when you are an adult, you have to use a pen. So because you use a pen, that's why you have to be more careful. If it's wrong, it's very difficult to correct. But when you are an adult, you do something wrong, people harder to forgive you. But if you are young, you do something wrong, you get easily to forgive. So that's why we both must be careful. And erase, you can erase anything to rewrite. But with a pen, you still can, a little harder. You need to use liquid paper to white out. So I just want to briefly share how to practice. And remember, I just want to inform so you do not misunderstanding. The teachings of the Buddha we call Dharma. Dharma means the way, the path, the truth. Anytime that you feel suffer, you're looking for the solution, the way to help. That is the way. When you're sick, you get medication to treat yourself, the way to get better. So body need heal, mind also need heal. So once the mind is healed, the body can recover more easily. But your body gets sick, get not well, it's more worse, depends on your mind. So mind and body is separate, but it's only one. If the mind at peace, you look fresh, you look nice, you look at peace. But once your mind is not at peace, you look very dry and very negative, very suffer. It's related. Just like your stomach. When you're in a happy condition, your stomach okay. But once you have disease on your stomach, when you have something worry, your stomach get pain, get hurt. So thank you for your practice. Thank you for your listening. I hope that with my short sharing, with my English, broken English, you understand what I try to share.
Thank you, Master, for your beautiful Dharma talk today. And we are very happy to see some old face who had been practiced with us for a couple of years ago. So because of COVID-19, we stopped practice. We hopefully in the future we will open the class again for you guys to listen today. Thank you very much. And hopefully still weather still nice.
Question.
Yeah.
Your question. A few questions if you have.
Do you have any questions to ask Thầy? Yeah.
Give me an easy question.
I have a question. Why do we have to forget and forgive what people do to us when it's bad?
So I want to repeat your question. Is that your question is why we need to forgive and forget when people do bad to you? Is that the question? Okay. Let's say one day accidentally you fell down. And do you want to stand up by yourself or you wait people to beg you to stand up? When you get wound, you cut yourself or somebody accidentally cut you. No matter what happened, we need to heal ourselves first. When we fell down, if nobody helped us to stand up, we need to find a way to stand up because we don't want to just lie there on strike. Same thing. You don't forgive anyone. You always carry that person in you. And that person become a rock, a stone, a rotten potatoes. Have you ever heard about that story? There are students. The teacher gave them, each of them carry a bag of potatoes in front of their chest. And they have the commitment. They come back to the class in 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, some of them came back with a few potatoes in their bag. Some of them completely no potatoes. And some of them, the whole bag stayed there the same. And with that one, very stinky and smell bad. The teacher asked, why you only have a few potatoes left in your bag? She said, oh, some of the other potatoes get rotten, I throw them away. I only keep the good one in my bag. That's why it's still light and no smell. Somebody, they still keep that bag completely 100%. They did not select and throw anything out. What happened? Heavy and smell bad. In this life, people can give you a lot of potatoes. But you have the right to select which one is rotten to throw them out. Which one still can be good, can be used. It's your rights. They have the rights to give you anything they want. But you have the rights to throw them with anything out you don't need. I set up the whole table of food. You take the one you can eat. Anything you cannot eat, I cannot force you. If I get angry at you, that's my problem. Not because of my anger that I have to eat what you want me to eat to make me get sick. The more you forgive, the more you feel light. The more you forget, the more you freedom. This is the practice. When people give you the wrong answer, you know it's wrong. Why don't you try to make it correct? People give you a piece of paper, plain. You have the right to write what is on that piece of paper. If you just, make it messy, that piece of paper becomes garbage. If you can write something nice and beautiful, you can learn and memorize, you have a piece of paper with a lot of good words on there. So we don't have to, right? There's nothing have to. But if you want to, you can be too. I want to become a monk. That's why I am a monk. Once you become a monk, live as a monk. I am a human, live as a human. What is human? Not about hate, not about greed. Human is loving, understanding. So when you forgive, it's better for you. When you hate that person become a rock and heavy you everywhere you go. When you can release that person, you can sleep well. No more nightmare about him. No more nightmare about her. And this is my own experience. When I was young, I disagreed with a lady. So many years, every time I dream about her, I see that I argument with her. So one day, she came to me and she apologized. I released her. Since that day, I never dream her anymore. And that is my experience. So when you keep negatives in you, when you hate somebody, that person are you always in your mind.
And somehow, you know, co-accidentally, you act like that person. Because that person they stay in you very strong, very firmly. And you look like him somehow, you never know. You look like that person some way, you never know, but people can tell. She hate that guy, but she act like him. She hate that girl, but she act like her. Because that become the picture in your mind. And what is Buddhism called? Reincarnation. Samsara, luân hồi. You just around and around with that person. One day you let her out. You jump over. You call liberation. You attain nirvana. Nir means no. Vana means negatives. When you have no negatives in your mind, that's called nirvana. So nirvana is not a place where you die and then you can go there after death. Nirvana is the destination of your peace. When you have no negatives, that's called nirvana. Nirvana. Nir means no. Vana means negatives. No negatives, nirvana. So in the new year, when you're greeting to someone, I hope you have a whole year of nirvana. People say, hey, why you pray for me to die? I didn't say anything about die. Go to nirvana. Nirvana means once your mind at peace, at calm, you can let go of all your negatives.
Our program has changed. Instead of we have more communication because the weather is bad now. So we have Q&A session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask Thầy.
Hello. So my question, and it's very badly formed in my mind, so forgive me. Okay, so a lot of the teachings that I've learned so far have dealt with letting go of anger, not having anger. But I guess anger and I go way back. We're good buddies. And I was thinking of examples. In fact, anger, I was angry, very furious, because I was treated badly at a job. It was low wage. I got angry. I went to school. I met my wife. I have 2 beautiful children. And in small ways, that emotion keeps coming back like an old friend and has helped me hold people accountable, protected our physical safety, our financial safety. And so I want to follow and I want to let go of anger, but how can I let go of my old friend when he's been so good to me?
I do not hear you clearly, but I try to summarize your question to see whether I understand you correctly. So that finally, you mean that your good friend? Is that because I don't hear? Cô repeat không? Cô repeat cái câu hỏi cho thầy.
Yeah. So what I mean is letting go of anger. And it's something that I want to do, but anger has been useful in my life. And it has also led to very good things and some of the best things in my life. I can attribute to a time that I got angry and I acted. And so I'm just trying to reconcile the good things that I associate with anger, and that's why I say anger is my good friend.
Okay.
and the teachings? And that's my question. How do I reconcile that?
Okay.
How do I
Okay.
say goodbye to my good friend Anger?
Thank you for your repeating. I understand you more now. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, and we all know that anger is one of the negative seeds within all of us. Not only that brother, we all have. And if we water that daily, they become a tree with lots of strong roots. And he called a good friend of him. Now anger become a friend of him. But this is a negative friend, a friend that always make him angry and upset. We do not discriminate any kind of friend. Angry the same. We don't have to try to do something to destroy anger. But you know that you have watered anger for many years, accidentally. But now, we also learn that we do have the positive seeds, the seed of forgive, the seed of love. Now we start to water this positive seed so they can flourish. And learn mindfulness to recognize every time angry rise, we let it down. So in the past, when we're angry, we explode. And many times we have burned the communication, the relationship. So now every time when we get angry, you find a place where you can sit by yourself to breathe and to calm yourself down. Let's say you're angry with your wife. Do not hanging around her. Because in that moment, she is not your wife. She becomes your gasoline. And she can burn you more. So when we hate somebody, even that is our love. But in that moment, we don't see that person as a lover. We will see that person at that moment as something very, very, very hating, very angry. So learn something else. You have done this many years and now you can learn another technique, another recipe. You can go to your room and find time to breathe. Wait until you calm. You can come down and talk same story. But now you come back the story with your calmness. It helps you more. In Buddhist practice, the Buddha said that we learn to recognize the anger and to taming our anger. If you have no more anger, you are Buddha, you are saint. And because we're still human and we're still in touch with many things around, then that negative seeds can rise easily. But as earlier I mentioned, we do have positive, we do have negative. We do have suffering, but if you only focus to suffering and that suffering become you, and you know that we do also have happiness, learn to face to the happiness more. So you live in the dark, do not continue to step into the dark. We have lived in the dark. Now it's time for us to learn to step out of the dark so we can see the light. When I was in Alabama last week, I have shared with the children about when you step into a dark room, you declare, oh, this room is so dark. And then you will walk slowly to the wall. Put your hands on the wall and try to find the switch. Because you know this is the dark room, but you know there is somewhere in this room, there is a switch for you to turn on to receive some light. Life is the same. We have lots of problems, but that's not it.
there is a place where you can turn on the switch, and that can show you the way out. So that's why in our building, there are many doors, but any door that exits, they have to put the sign, so people can know this is the way out or in. But if this one have no door, this door go to the room. It's a way too, but small room. That is the exit, go more space, more freedom. So to my practice, sometimes I'm not happy with my students. I try to come downstairs and I begin to explore. I'm ready to explore. But after a few steps downstairs, I thought, daily, I taught them to be nice, to be compassion, to be calmness. Now, what am I look like if I come down and explode? So I walk back to my room. I close my door and I sit on my chair and start to breathe. After a few minutes, I calm down. And that moment, I put hand on my chest and I say, good boy. You are a good boy. You did not explode to burn the relationship between you and your students. And you know that to build up a relationship is easy. But to damage, to burn, to destroy a relationship is easy. It's difficult to build, but it's very easy and very quickly to destroy something. Because of that, I always remind, to construct something takes a lot of time. To destruct something takes short time. We meditate on that in order to help us to calm. You have meditated a lot about anger. That means you focus, you live with it. Now it's become your good friend. Then you still take that good friend, but don't make that good friend become your controller. I know you good friend, you are all right to stay in my home. You stay in me, but you are no longer can explode and control me. From now on, every time I am angry, I will find a way out of that anger area. You also tell your wife, when you're angry, if you see me go upstairs, you know that I try to calm myself. Do not follow me. Don't knock my door. Hey, come out and talk with me. Tell your wife, allow me to come into the room and close the door and give me to meditate on my anger. Usually, life is funny. Somebody try to hiding you, they go to the room, you follow. Hey, come out and talk. I want to solve the problem. Actually, problem cannot solve. After a while of talking, we may come to argument and fighting. Totally no help. Even a monk, we still have that anger. But because we shave the head and we wear this robe, it's part of controlling. A monk with this robe get angry, doesn't look nice. So why we wear the robe? One of the way to protect us. Why we need to shave head is the one way to protect us. So after we put on the robe, we have to be calm and mindful. Same thing. You look at your son become the object to help you to calm down. The more you explore, your son will receive. And you turn your house, your home, become a negative, a poison environment. All your children will receive all of that pollution. I have a young brother in the temple. He come to help, but he's very, very hot-tempered. I told him, take some picture of your daughters and make it put on your phone. Every time you're angry, look at your daughters. You love your daughters. You smile at her. She is so cute. She is one of the ways to calm you down. Look around your children. The more you explore, the more you create pollution. And your whole family will receive that pollution. Completely not healthy environment. So there are few ways like that to help. Me practice the same after 30 years in Buddhist practice. It's part of life. But because someday we angry like that, and any day we have no angry, that is a nirvana day, a day of peace. No more question, we are enlightenment. Okay, if we have no more question, and I think that's it for the day, for this morning. And once again, I would like to express my thankful to all of you who are here this morning, especially my young friends. Only happen once a while, and you are very kind. You sit beautifully. You still here to support me. Thank you for your presence, your support, your practice, your listening. I hope you are healthy, well, and success on your final exam coming up. Oh, you have summer break already, have you? Did you have summer break yet? Because in Canada, this is the time we do final exams. The final day in school in Canada is June 28th. So it's the end of June. So I forgot about that. I know that some of you already have summer break. So enjoy your summer, and we'll see you sometime later. Thank you.